Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim. This is kashkellyandac Sports Report. I'm not feeling great, but you guys have seen our videos with JR this week. It's really been kind of a cool thing to have him on from where we started. He was one of the first guys I found on YouTube. I didn't even know there were sports shows on YouTube. And I found JR, and he was one of the guys who inspired me to make a sports show, so it's really cool to have him on. We'll look to have more guests on soon. Now, I have a few more videos with him. Me and AC have a few more videos with him. We'll release those at a later time because they're involved with baseball and I want to save some of those. But Deron Williams was traded the other day. I broke down the Mello trade about 32 times and I'm just sick of it. You guys know my thoughts on it by now. Here's my thoughts on Deron Williams' trade. Obviously, Williams went to the New Jersey Nets, Brooklyn Nets, whatever you want to call them, in exchange for Derek Favors, Devin Harris, 2 first-round picks, and $3 million. Now, on the surface, this looks like a good trade for the Nets, and it probably will be a good trade for the Nets in the short term. They'll probably get more out of Deron Williams than they would have all those other pieces combined. The 2 first-round picks basically mean nothing because who knows where Utah is going to be? Who knows? I mean, if you don't have the number 1 pick in the NBA right now, it appears to be irrelevant. You can have the number 2 pick, the number 3 pick, and it doesn't appear to matter. And then, you got to look at Devin Harris. He's not having a great season. He's been an all-star before, so I certainly wouldn't give up on this guy. But I think at the same time, you got to look at him and say he's certainly not Deron Williams, and he's probably not your long-term guard. But as a short-term guy, and if you're building a team, this guy plays pretty solid defense. Decent piece. Derek Favors, number 4 pick in the draft. He's had a tough rookie season. He was a number 4 pick. He's only averaged about 6.3 points per game, and about 5 rebounds. And it just hasn't been what we thought it was going to be with Derek Favors. It's too early to tell with this guy though. He's got tremendous talent from everything I've been told. The biggest thing is just getting this guy to work. So we'll have to see with Derek Favors. The $3 million is nice because you get a chance to lock up Harris. So I think with the Jazz, it's just kind of a wait and see on what happens. For Deron Williams going to the Nets, I think the biggest problem is that there's just not pieces around this guy. And it's tough to build around a guard at this point in the NBA. We see teams build around forwards more, not really even centers, but forwards or guards like the Celtics. I mean, to build around just one guard, it appears tough to do for me. And I think Deron Williams is a very, very good player, but I don't think he's great. I don't think he's Carmelo Anthony either. And I said, some people took my Carmelo comments wrong. Let me rephrase this. I don't think Carmelo is LeBron James, and anyone who does is just way out of touch. That being said, I think Carmelo is one of the top 5 players in the NBA. And I think if you put pieces around him, he sure can win you a championship. I don't think he's going to be like LeBron and just put the team on his back with Amari and win it all this year. That's what I meant by those comments. And I think you got to look at the Deron Williams thing even similar. I mean, the thing with Deron Williams is he's a very good player, but he basically was one of the main reasons Jerry Sloan quit in Utah. And, I just don't know how much of a team player this guy is. One of the reasons Sloan quit was because Deron Williams just decided, what, I'm going to do my way. And part of that I understand, that's just kind of how it works sometimes when you're the big shot on the team. But, Jerry Sloan's also one of the greatest NBA coaches of all time, too, and he kind of backed him into retirement. If this guy goes there for 2 years and has 2 good seasons and then he walks and Favors and Harris and the people the Jazz got never turn out to be anything, then it's kind of a wash. Who cares? You won't remember that in 5 years. If this guy stays there for 2 years, signs an extension, eventually gets this team into a contending position, then yeah, it's a nice trade no matter what happens with the guys in the Jazz. If he bombs out and this just doesn't work out and the people for the Jazz work out, hey, that certainly could happen, and they're just going to look stupid. That's the bottom line. But I'm not sure, really. This is an interesting trade, and it's kind of one you got to revisit in a few years. Because if you just get Deron Williams for this year and next year, it's not going to mean anything because you're not, as a Nets fan, which I am not, I'm a Sixers fan, but I know Nets fans around here, they're thinking, we got Deron Williams, that's pretty cool. They got to know that they're not going to win this year or next year, probably even in 2 years. I mean, this team's got to build depth. They got to build for the future. And, moving to Brooklyn's a cool thing for them, though. It's more of a draw than New Jersey, or the Meadowlands, which is where they actually play, which is in New Jersey, obviously. But, I mean, I just don't know at this point if this trade's good or bad, because we got to see how these players work out. I mean, Deron Williams, tremendous talent. He's not a great player, though, and some people are saying that. And I've read articles on ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, saying that he's in the same league as Carmelo Anthony. Take a step back there. I mean, I know you're going to say, well, he's a guard and Carmelo's a forward. They're not in the same league. Deron Williams is top 20 player in the NBA. Carmelo's knocking on the top 5 if he's not in the top 5. So they're in different leagues. Carmelo's a better player. If Nets fans got Carmelo, it would have been, well, Carmelo's the best player in the NBA. So I think you're just kind of saying, well, we got this guy, so we're going to worship him. Deron Williams is a step in the right direction for the New Jersey Nets, but they got to continue to build around him. For the Jazz, you got some decent young pieces to work with. I don't think any of these guys are going to be the guy to build around, but they might be the guys you build around the big guy. And now it's just up to finding the big guy. I'm Tim. Leave your thoughts. I'll see you later.